Well, spring has finally reached Ohio. It actually came a little earlier than what it normally does. And I've been home for a month, so I've got to fish these lakes around my home that I don't get to fish as much. So had a real fun time just going and, you know, running to the lake every now and then. And as you can see in the video, I'm doing a lot of pre-spawn and spawn fishing. You know, those fish were just getting ready to get up on beds, or they were on beds. And at times I was blind fishing, literally just casting up to the bank, going along looking for them. And you know, you pick some up that way, and just throwing that Berkley flat dog around, just, you know, normal stuff. Some wood, some rocks, but it's just one of those baits that you know, in the springtime, those females don't always like to sit right on the beds, and they'll sit off that stuff. And a lot of times you'll scroll down the bank and you'll see that male up there, and you know, and it may be a good one. It might be, you know, 2 to 3 pounds, and that's good for Ohio. But you know, that bigger 4 or 5 pounder, she's sitting off where you can't see her. And so a lot of times I'll go down a stretch that I knew there were some beds on, and I'll throw that flat dog out there and just let it sit while I continue to go on. And yes! Berkley flat dog, baby. And other than that, I was sight fishing. But the MVP of what you've seen is basically the Berkley Havoc Pit Boss, okay? I know you guys heard it before. It's one of my favorite baits. It's simple, it mimics a crawfish, and bass love crawfish. And they especially don't like crawfish on their beds. And that's basically all I was doing. I was visually seeing those fish. I'd power pole down, and I'd flip up there with that Pit Boss and, you know, get them to react to it, and the rest was history. It's something that you can use all year long. It's not just a bed fishing bait, it's anytime bait. You know, I've used it on a Carolina rig before, and something I just have a lot of confidence in. So what I'm saying is, if you got your confidence bait, use it. This is mine. This is my main setup for bed fishing. It all begins with the 7.6 medium heavy veracity by Abu Garcia. It's a stout rod, and it allows me to get a good hook penetration when I set the hook on those fish. I have that paired up with the Abu Garcia MGX 7:9 gear ratio, and that allows me to reel up any slack as quickly as possible. And on top of that, I got 20-pound 100% Berkley fluorocarbon on a 3/8 ounce weight. I got my Berkley Fusion 4/0 flipping hook paired up with my 4-inch Pit Boss. You know, fishing in the springtime is always fun. Just some things you want to remember is, you know, is it pre-spawn, post-spawn, or is it during the spawn? And you just keep those 3 things in mind, and you just keep bouncing around, but they all equal one thing, and that's going to be pretty much shallow water. And if it's not super shallow, they're going to be right next to it. So finding those subtle points right next to a spawn flat, or on the spawn flat itself, or they're guarding fry, you know, just keep it simple and go try that stuff out, and I'm sure you're going to put some fish in the boat.